Greetings and salutations, all my friends across the fruited plain. Welcome to the Reading Epic Threads live stream pre-show, which I've started a bit early today at 7:32 p.m. Central Time, May 25th, 2021. To those of you who are already here, hello, JC Bird, Carla Burton, Susan the Cracked Egglet, and others who will be joining us shortly. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to do some older threads, not too much older, a few days ago, that were sent to me, of course, mostly by Special Ops Kim. And then right at 8, I'm going to do the Arizona update. It's going to be long. And then to save my voice, I may have a special guest doing another thread for us. So I just wanted to let you know we may have a special guest doing the thread. You never know. She's more mercurial than others. She may show, she may not. I've left it up to her. But if she does, you will get to hear her thread reading as well as mine. Hello, Mountain Woman. Hello, Michelle Miller. Hello, Patty Ratty. Let's go, Patrick. Damn right, Patty Ratty. We're going to open it up with a long thread from John Hayward, thanks to Special Ops Kim. Conservatives of my generation made the terrible mistake of believing Marxism was fatally discredited with the fall of the Soviet Union, and only a few aging freaks in campus faculty still took it seriously. We weren't ready for the next wave of the mind virus and its variants. It was an easy mistake to make. How could people cling to an ideology that spread death, poverty, and failure around the world once its primary nation state and supporter lay in ruins? Its claims of success across the decades exposed as lies, its victims celebrating their freedom. How could so many people ignore the hideous history of Marxism and continue to believe this time it will work? This time all the bugs have been ironed out. This time the right people are finally in charge. Forgive my generation for thinking the horror was finally over. Marxism persists because it is a virus. It was designed that way. Give the old devil and disciples credit for being ahead of the curve and realizing that an ideology could be custom tailored to propagate itself endlessly without needing any nourishment from success. Marxism is designed to spread by infection, to subvert and overturn institutions, to destabilize societies, to feed upon the offal of greed and envy, which it metabolizes into virtues. It infects young minds by presenting itself as the utopia that has never been reached. Every single aspect of Marxist theory is designed to protect and perpetuate the ideology no matter how badly it fails, most notably including the elements of every Marxist ideology that justify the use of violence against those who threaten it or refuse to submit to its demands. An ideology that asserts dissent from its principles in good faith is impossible, making dissent a sin punishable by loss of rights, confiscation of property, imprisonment, torture, or death, is well on its way to insulating itself against any degree of objective failure. The most viral element of Marxism, the DNA that carries over into all its mutations, is the elimination of individual responsibility. The promise of justice and entitlement achieved through collective power. Every strain of Marxism tells adherents they have been exploited. This is reflected in the core economic assumption of Marxism. Capitalism exploits workers and steals the value of their labor. All of Marxism's misery and bloody horror, all of the failure and brutal civil warfare it spreads through societies it infects, flows from this idea. Marxism tells the infected that profit is theft. When an employer hires them for $15 an hour and sells the product of their labor for $20, the employer is stealing $5 of value that rightly belongs to the worker. The employer is a parasite. You might ask, How am I supposed to generate that $20 of value unless a business hires me? Doesn't the employer provide value to the enterprise? Didn't he take risks starting that business? Didn't I take this job voluntarily? Isn't working better than lying around? Marxism has answers for those questions, and its entire toxic ideology and its society-destroying mutations, right up to critical race theory and the vicious stupidity of wokeism, are built from those answers. The answers teach its subjects to value collectivism over freedom. How am I supposed to generate $20 of value unless a business hires me? Marxism says capital should be owned collectively by everyone, by no one. In theory, the people own the capital and share it. In practice, it always ends up in the hands of greedy, despotic politicians. Doesn't the employer add value to the enterprise? No, he's a capitalist exploiter who gets fat and rich by stealing the excess value of your labor. The collective, the state, should give you everything you need to thrive because you deserve it. Didn't the employer take risks starting the business? That's just a lie fat cat rich capitalists use to justify their obscene profits. Under Marxism, there is no risk. Wise, central planners where capital goes, doing the best for everyone and bringing economic justice. Didn't I take this job voluntarily? No, you only think you did. You have a false consciousness of freedom. Work under capitalism is slavery disguised as liberty. Only when the wise and loving state frees you from need are you truly free to exercise your will. Isn't working better than lying around? Under Marxism, all costs and risks will be socialized, spreading them so thin that they disappear. Everything important will be free. In return, it may you to make contributions in accordance with your abilities. This is the only just model of labor under Marxist theory. It's all about people contributing, sharing, and helping, as directed by their brilliant scientific state, which all agree is the only legitimate authority since all consent to be governed by it. Never again should any defender of freedom underestimate the seductive viral appeal of these ideas, especially to young minds. Marxism is a vision of society run like a big family. It appeals to kids from good families and those who desperately wish that they had good families. Marxism flatters envy and transforms it into a virtue. It offers a regimented vision of society that appears logical once its entirely false basic premises are accepted. It claims to make sense of a senseless and unjust world, very appealing to the young and alienated. Most importantly, Marxism lifts the burden of individual responsibility from its acolytes, socializing costs and consequences, classifying all misfortune as exploitation, dividing people into static classes at war with each other. It all says nothing is your fault. Every strain of Marxism tells its victims that they can never hope to find success, fairness, justice, equity, whatever euphemism becomes fashionable after the old ones wear out, on their own. You can never get a fair shake from a system rigged to exploit you at every turn. Only the state, the collective, can deliver justice and fairness. Only through collective power can you overthrow the exploiters and steal back your capital, defeat systemic racism, remake humanity into a new Soviet man, better suited for collective effort and ready for utopia. And once you join the Marxist collective, you're not individually responsible for doing anything. You just have to vote the right way, mouth the correct slogans, obey when your betters give you marching orders, and agitate against the old unjust order, which is fun. Marxism's viral engineering redefines every sin and indulgence as a virtue, provided it gives Marxism more power and helps it spread. Everything that feeds the collective and destabilizes the old society is either encouraged or tolerated, including criminal violence. Can you see why this ideology is so infectious? How it has survived so many hideous failures and mutates so readily into new strains, bypassing any immunity built up by healthy societies? It has answers and excuses for everything. It supplies enemies and plans to defeat them. We should not have been surprised that Marxism would endure, since its adherents control so much of academia, culture, and the information space. They rewrite history daily in their thought virus laboratories to keep it alive and virulent. They do this because the smartest thing Marxism's developers did was program it to reward the elite who spread it. It's a perfect weapon for destroying and looting civilizations. Then it helps the revolution become permanent tyranny. That part of the code works perfectly. And that's the thread. Fun fact, my sis Barbara and I were talking last night, and in the course of conversation, we were talking about the fact we realized that, and this is just coincidence that I read this thread just now, that the 7 deadly sins are turned into virtues under communism. Gluttony, for example, gluttony and alcoholism are just called self-care. It was something Barbara commented on last night. Speaking of Barbara, you might want to go to angelpaste.com, use promo code Shapiro. You can get the very best lotion on the whole planet, better than anything you're using right now, better than the corporate poison that you're buying. Plant-grade food oils, food-grade plant oils, oil-grade plant food. Your skin will drink it up. CooperandFrench.com, promo code Shapiro. If you shave, shave with this. I really only have to shave every other day because of it, and it provides a closer shave, and it's more comfortable. Made by Patriots for Patriots. James MG at Verizon.net. We're almost out of these coins, guys. Get them while you can. They're only $10 each. Order as many as you want. They're available till they're gone. I'll be giving them to Patriots in Dallas, Texas, May 28th through May 31st at the Patriots Roundup. I will be shaking hands with those great people and live streaming from my smartphone on my Patrick Gunnels YouTube channel, which I advise every single one of you to go visit as soon as possible, especially if you're watching this stream and want to see the whole thing. Because let's face it, guys, I'm not going to be doing any of that Arizona update stuff on the Patrick Gunnels YouTube channel. Too much wrong think, and it's a big, long one. St. Richie points out, gluttony is the most ignored sin of all. That's self-care under new wokeism. Christina Jankovic. Karl Marx lived in England for 3 decades. Crazy. Let's say hello to everybody. Spirit Fox, Jay Stacks, Angela MNCC, Susan S., Robert Guy. What are you saying, Robert Guy? I hate all Bolsheviks and their enablers. The toxic philosophy would reduce man to a worthless animal for the gluttony of the owners of communist states. Take a look at Venezuela, etc. So I'm going to make my comment on this. Marxism is just a philosophy that makes it safe to engage in organized crime. Marxist philosophy lets you turn organized crime into a frickin' religion, and your foot soldiers think they're virtuous in enforcing your tyranny. That's it. Tyrants are just mob bosses. And Marxism is the philosophy designed to make organized crime safe to enact. It's all that simple. All right. Mark Conway, what's up, my friend? Epic Jill. Hipster Cat, how are you doing? Richard Rohrer, Carly W. Let's see. All right. Lakeside 2002. Got all my favorites here today. Andy Foster, Alex Jablanowski, Nosy Rosie. Nosy Rosie gave me some advice on how to get better. Turns out that combination of water, warm water, apple cider vinegar, and honey is just not something I was able to stomach. All right. Sarah Brunette, Juliet Ochieng. Ooh, guess what, guys? We may very well. I'm going to wait until Barbie Bear Angel Paste gives me the go ahead to let's see. I'm gonna make sure. Forgot the only person I've done this with Jilly Pepper. I've done it with Kristen S. I've done it with the Cracked Egglet, but I don't remember if clicking this will automatically put Barbara on the screen. But she's joined, so we're good. So at such time as Barbara is in the chat and telling me, let's go, we're in great shape. Joe Papa says I sound great. Good. My voice isn't totally back, but yeah, I mean, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Tomorrow I should be really way better. All right. Looking good. Feeling good, Lewis. All right. So what do you say? What do you say we do this? I got an email that I wanted to, you know what? No, this is important. So this is from the light attendant who has also kind of one of my sources on Jewish stuff. But the light attendant has sent us some good stuff in the past and has a really good point to make about this. All right. At the outset, let me apologize and advise that sadly, this is not the Ever Given water penisy in any way. That joke was so freaking funny. Water penisy. Nor does it have anything to do with Chinese cock rockets. However, it may be important nonetheless. The other day, Dwayne Cates posted the following article. By the way, this was 2 days ago, so obviously I've been leaving everything going by the wayside. The other day, Dwayne Cates posted the following article on his Quadvirum account, humanevents.com. That's that magazine that I think that scumbag Will Chamberlain, fake conservative and traitor, is editor-in-chief of. Finally, Pentagon announces ending of National Guard deployment at U.S. Capitol. From the article, during a briefing, Pentagon spokesman John Kirby said the deployment is expected to wrap up on May 23rd. That was 2 days ago. This may suggest, quote, and if Kristen S. is here, she'll know exactly. A lot of you are going to know, but especially Kristen S. This may suggest end of occupation, which makes me think 11.3 as specifically referenced repeatedly by Q. Accordingly, I went back and listened to your prior reading of J.B. White's analysis on Gab regarding 11.3 and its possible significance. This is worth revisiting, in my opinion. Love me some JB. If you could provide a link to that video so people can check it out, or better yet, if you could give us an encore of JB's epic thread on 11.3, I think it would make the world a better, smarter place. Peace, love, and understanding from your friendly light attendant. So, obviously, I've been sick, and I haven't even done the legwork on this, but that's very true. I need to provide the link to the JB article, the Gab article on 11.3. It was freaking badass. It might be one of my last, you know what, just hold for processing, guys, because I might have it. Just a sec. Reading Epic Threads, the YouTube channel, 7,520 subscribers, most of whom got tired of my bullshit after Inauguration Day. All right, hang on. Under content for regular videos, my last video from JB White, Rattlergator on 11.3 and 11.4 mean. Okay, so I'm going to get the shareable link and I'm going to stick it in chat here. Anybody wants to, and if Barbara has said good to go, then all right, check that out. Maybe spread that around. Law of War, exactly. Okay, so is Barbara Bear Angel Paste chatting us up yet so I can add her? I am not wearing makeup. I don't know what that means, Barbie Bear Angel Paste. Does that mean that I can add you? I can't show my face, dude. All right, she can't show her face. I don't know how to turn you on without showing your face. Sorry, kiddo. I don't know what to tell you. All right. All it lets me do is just like, hang on. What if I do this? She can't show her face. All right. See, she's putting on makeup now. All right, let's give her a little time to put on some makeup. What do you say? All right. Can't show my face, dude. All right. Let's keep going, guys. I shared the Rattlergator thread in the thread, but what do you say we redo a thread that Barbara had me do earlier? Some great Victor hopium. This is all in preparation for 8 p.m., where the Arizona audit update is going to be available. And by the way, guys, let me know when. I don't know. Barbara, just keep me updated as to when you get your makeup on. So anyway, this is a thread. Great Victor hopium. Thomas Victor. This is interesting. None of this kind of stuff, tons of this kind of stuff is happening. I don't think it's a coincidence. YouTube.com, Hollywood turns on China. If you strike me down, I'll become more powerful than you can possibly imagine. Trump isn't just waiting. He's also shaping the battlefield. And if he is, he's playing the hardest of all hardball. I think he has the goods on everyone, and he's twisting arms out of their sockets. Twitter India was raided by the cops for interfering in politics. Federal marshals arrested a guy who beat a Jewish man in New York City. Judges are ruling against Biden for anti-white racism. The floodgates are open. The Democrats are being exposed all over the country, and states are ignoring Biden's unilateral decrees. One by one, his goodies and giveaways are being stripped from his budget. The worst of the pandemic is over, but people won't forget what Democrats put them through. Since I have no tolerance for alarmism, I'm not watching even the folks on our side. Why not? Because this didn't register. Trump got his landslide. He defeated absolutely everything these people are warning us about, and he didn't just walk away. Something happened, and a lot more is coming. Trump said he'll act before 2022, and he said this about Biden. How can you govern when you weren't elected? The answer is you can't. What does that tell you? That's about as unequivocal a statement as you can get. It means Biden is not the president, and Trump will prove it. People don't treat this situation with the gravity it deserves. They think Trump can just say things and suddenly he'll be president again. In reality, we're talking about the most momentous development in American history, more momentous than the Revolutionary or Civil Wars or both world wars. We had templates for those. The outcomes were preordained. This, uncharted waters in another universe. And that is Trump's advantage. Trump isn't afraid of any challenge because he always wins. He won the election by a landslide, but he decided to let the Democrats think they'd successfully stolen their victory. And that's because it was to his advantage. I've begun to see the strategy more clearly. All we can do is wait, while never losing sight of the fact Trump got his landslide, despite everything they did to him. So, be of good cheer. The best is yet to come. And that's the thread. To support this channel and to send me to the upcoming Trump rallies, paypal.me/Bitcoin Armada. And then, of course, angelpaste.com, promo code Shapiro. Food-grade plant oils made by Texans for Texans, supplied from farms in Texas. It's got what skin craves. Angelpaste.com, promo code Shapiro. All right, guys. Let's see how everybody's doing. All right. What a time to be alive. This is going to be epic. Agreed. Moderna is Chinese. You know what I think, Mark Conway? I think Moderna is just going to end up being another Theranos. Just my gut feeling. Click. I forgot to say click, guys. All right. Love your title. And of course, the movie is great. I hope all is going well. And Patrick, your voice sounds better. Thank you, DJ Jerdrum. Yeah, my voice is getting better. I'm not there yet, of course, but it's looking good. All right. What we're going to do now is, what do you say? Let's see. This one's kind of long. All right. You know what? That's not true. So this is from Grant's Mim, George Washington Vision of America. The Vision, first published in 1859 from Washington's first officer. The Vision. It begins. I do not know whether it is owing to the anxiety of my mind or what, but this afternoon, As I was sitting at this table engaged in preparing a dispatch, something seemed to disturb me. Looking up, I beheld standing opposite me a singularly beautiful female. So astonished was I, for I had given strict orders not to be disturbed, and it was some moments before I found language to inquire the cause of her presence. A second, a third, and even a fourth time did I repeat my question, but received no answer from my mysterious visitor, except a slight raising of her eyes. By this time, I felt strange sentiments spreading through me. I would have risen, but the riveted gaze of the being before me rendered volition impossible. I essayed once more to address her, but my tongue had become useless. Even thought itself had become paralyzed. A new influence, mysterious, potent, irresistible, took possession of me. All I could do was gaze steadily, vacantly at my unknown visitor. Gradually, the surrounding atmosphere seemed as though becoming filled with sensations and luminous. Everything about me seemed to rarefy, the mysterious visitor herself becoming more airy and yet more distinct to my sight than before. I now began to feel as one dying, or rather to experience the sensations which I have sometimes imagined. A company, dissolution. I did not think, I did not reason, I did not move. All were alike impossible. I was only conscious of gazing fixedly, vacantly at my companion. Presently, I heard a voice saying, "Son of the Republic, look and learn," while at the same time my visitor extended her arm eastwardly. I now beheld a heavy white vapor at some distance, rising fold upon fold. This gradually dissipated, and I looked upon a strange scene. Before me lay spread out in one vast plain all the countries of the world: Europe, Asia, Africa, and America. I saw rolling and tossing between Europe and America the billows of the Atlantic, and between Asia and America lay the Pacific. "Son of the Republic," said the same mysterious voice as before, "look and learn." At that moment, I beheld a dark, shadowy being, like an angel floating in midair between Europe and America, dipping water out of the ocean in the hollow of each hand. He sprinkled some upon America with his right hand, while with his left hand he cast some on Europe. Immediately a dark cloud raised from those countries and joined in mid-ocean. For a while it remained stationary, and then moved slowly westward until it enveloped America in its murky folds. Sharp flashes of lightning passed through it at intervals, and I heard the smothered groans and cries of the American people. A second time, the angel dipped water from the ocean and sprinkled it out as before. The dark cloud was then drawn back to the ocean, in whose heaving billows it sank from view. A third time I heard the mysterious voice saying, "Son of the Republic, look and learn." I cast my eyes upon America and beheld villages and towns and cities springing up one after another until the whole land, from the Atlantic to the Pacific, was dotted with them. Again, I heard the mysterious voice say, "Son of the Republic, the end of the century cometh. Look and learn." At this, the dark, shadowy angel turned his face southward, and from Africa I saw an ill-omened specter approach our land. It flitted slowly over every town and city. The inhabitants presently set themselves in battle array against each other. As I continued looking, I saw a bright angel on whose brow rested a crown of light, on which was traced the word Union, bearing the American flag, which he placed between the divided nation and said, "Remember, ye are brethren." Instantly, the inhabitants, casting from them their weapons, became friends once more and united around the national standard. And again, I heard the mysterious voice saying, "Son of the Republic, look and learn." At this, the dark, shadowy angel placed a trumpet to his mouth and blew 3 distinct blasts, and, taking water from the ocean, he sprinkled it upon Europe, Asia, and Africa. Then my eyes beheld a fearful scene. From each of these countries arose thick black clouds that were joined into one, and throughout this mass there gleamed a dark red light by which I saw hordes of armed men who, moving with the cloud, marched by land and sailed by sea to America, which country was enveloped in the volume of the cloud. And I dimly saw these vast armies devastate the whole country and burn the villages, towns, and cities that I beheld were springing up. As my ears listened to the thundering of the cannon, clashing of swords, and the shouts and cries of millions in mortal combat, I heard again the mysterious voice saying, "Son of the Republic, look and learn." When the voice had ceased, the dark, shadowy angel placed his trumpet once more to his mouth and blew a long and fearful blast. Instantly a light as of 1,000 suns shone down from above me and pierced and broke into fragments the dark cloud which enveloped America. At the same moment the angel, upon whose head still shone the word Union, and who bore our national flag in one hand and a sword in the other, descended from the heavens, attended by legions of white spirits. These immediately joined the inhabitants of America, who I perceived were well nigh overcome, but who immediately, taking courage again, closed up their broken ranks and renewed the battle. Again, amid the fearful noise of the conflict, I heard the mysterious voice saying, "Son of the Republic, look and learn." As the voice ceased, the shadowy angel for the last time dipped water from the ocean and sprinkled it upon America. Instantly, the dark cloud rolled back, together with the armies it had brought, leaving the inhabitants of the land victorious. Then once more I beheld the villages, towns, and cities springing up where I had seen them before, while the bright angel, planting the azure standard he had brought in the midst of them, cried with a loud voice, "While the stars remain, and the heavens send down dew upon the earth, so long shall the Union last." And taking from his brow the crown on which was blazoned the word Union, he placed it upon the standard, while the people, kneeling down, said Amen. The scene instantly began to fade and dissolve, and I at last saw nothing but the rising, curling vapor I at first beheld. This also disappearing, I found myself once more gazing upon the mysterious visitor who, in the same voice I had heard before, said, "Son of the Republic, what you have seen is thus interpreted. 3 great perils will come upon the Republic. The most fearful is the third, passing which the whole world united shall not prevail against her. Let every child of the Republic learn to live for his God, his land, and the Union." With these words, the vision vanished, and I started from my seat and felt that I had seen a vision wherein I had been shown me the birth, progress, and destiny of the United States. Thank you for that, Grant Smith. All right, how's everybody doing, guys? Let's see. Twitch froze. Oh, that's what I get for being a Twitch thought. All right. Maybe they don't like me. All right. So, guys, it is after 8 p.m., which means that it may be time for part 1 of the Arizona audit update. So I just need to check on Barbie Bear Angel Pace to see if she's, I wonder if there's like a private chat that she could send me so I don't have to scroll way back. Anyway, Barbie, if you ever send me a G chat, I'll get it immediately. I don't see anything from Barbara, so she's not ready yet. All right. All right, get rid of Reading Epic Thread Stream, pgunnels app. Good reminder. So for those of you who are currently in the Reading Epic Threads live stream, might consider going to this one instead. Bam. YouTube.com/user/pgunnels, because let's face it, I got 2 strikes on the Reading Epic Threads YouTube channel, and you never know what kind of stuff is in there. However, for this one, I think we're good. So I'm going to leave what you've seen up on the Reading Epic Threads YouTube channel. But now I'm going to say goodbye to all of you on the Reading Epic Threads YouTube channel. Go to the Patrick Gunnels YouTube channel to see the rest. Bam. All right, 104, 100. Only 4. Everybody migrated over. All right, that's badass. So, all right. J Baldylocks, check the other comments again. B says she's ready. All right, let's see how it works. Bam, bam. Barbie Bear Angel Face?
Yes.
We can't see your face. Is that by design?
Yeah, I have a dog here.
Okay, that's nice. So are you going to? Are you go? How?
Do
how
I sound
have you,
okay? Do I sound okay?
You sound great to me. Let's see what the audience says.
Okay.
Can everybody hear Barbie Bear Angel Paste? Okay. Comment if we're not buffering. 5x5 says Angela. Barbie Bear Angel Paste. All right.
Okay.
All right. So we have some people saying 5x5. That means all's good. Yes. All right. Mary Doe says Roger. Eileen325 says 5x5. Can't see the dog. Barbie Bear, do you have the thread that I sent you to read?
Yeah, I just have one thread, the HIPAA thread.
That's cool. Yeah, read the HIPAA thread because it was sent by Special Ops Kim.
Okay.
And those are screenshots, and sometimes the screenshots overlap. So you gotta remember that there's the same stuff on. All right, you got it. All right, I'm gonna go take some stuff for my throat, and I'll be right back.
Okay. Okay. Pharmacy thread, #pharmacy. I really didn't want to talk about this topic. However, there is just too much confusion and too many people saying, "My HIPAA." I've been asked multiple times by a lot of users, can they do this? Isn't that a HIPAA violation? HIPAA this, HIPAA that. I gotta assume no one has a clue what HIPAA is beyond the 2 basic words, patient and privacy. In this thread, Drop will give everyone a synopsis of what the hell these 5 letters mean. The Healthcare Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, HIPAA, was signed into law by Bill Clinton in 1996. Some of you may be surprised that privacy is not actually what the P stands for. This act is actually not primarily about your privacy. On its face, HIPAA is about putting accountability to people who are in charge of holding your medical records and transferring it amongst your healthcare team. That's the portability. Doctors, pharmacists, clinics, nursing homes. Covered entities include healthcare providers, doctors, pharmacists, nursing homes. 2, health plans, like your insurance. 3, healthcare clearinghouses, a middleman between your insurance and your healthcare provider that double checks the billing to see if it's correct. Business associates, these are people who are contracted with one of the first 3 to do anything work related. For example, a shredding company your pharmacist hires to dispose of expired prescriptions. These covered entities must follow HIPAA laws or be subject to a fine. How big of a fine depends on how negligent you were when you committed the offense. They schedule it to 4 tiers of severity. Tier 1, minimum fine of $100 per violation up to $50,000. Tier 2, minimum fine of $1,000 per violation up to $50,000. Tier 3, minimum fine of $10,000 per violation up to $50,000. Tier 4, minimum fine of $50,000 per violation. And then there's a picture like pay up. Now notice the covered entities section did not include that evil Dairy Queen or Walmart worker that is asking for your vaccination card before they serve you. The argument that somehow doing so is violating your HIPAA rights makes me cringe every time. That argument not only fails jurisdictionally, since those are not covered entities, it also fails logically as well. Think in this case, if you were to give up your vaccine card to enter the premises, who is transferring the medical information? Is it Walmart? No, it is you. HIPAA was created so when other people transfer your medical information, they must be regulated. It has nothing to do with transferring the information yourself. Remember, you are voluntarily relinquishing your own healthcare information to the place of business as a cost of entry. You are perfectly free to refuse to do so and then go to another establishment. Therefore, HIPAA is completely not related to these situations. So, what is HIPAA really for then? In my opinion, it is extremely outdated. It started off as a decent idea, but it spread wildly out of control and became an albatross. A government program? No way. HIPAA these days just make it very difficult for healthcare professionals to work with one another or with you. Here's a copy of my malpractice insurance. Check out the HIPAA section on the bottom. If you remember the tiers I posted earlier, if I were to violate HIPAA, I would be fined up to $50K. Translation, I would be royally effed. So, what would constitute a violation of HIPAA? Say if I were to hand your medications and I said the name of them too loudly while counseling you and another patient heard, that would constitute a violation. I have to do my best not to mention any medication names and pantomime what you are taking and hope you can read when I'm pointing to. Also, if you were to say to end up in the hospital or the ER asks for your medication list, you would have to sign pretty much an entire contract before we can legally fax it over. Here's what it looks like. And then there's a document. What if I had a stroke or am in a coma? Drop would have to determine if that story is plausible. And if I'm wrong, boom, $50,000 fine. Point of the story, all HIPAA does nowadays is make healthcare professionals paranoid, and it makes it very difficult to perform basic healthcare tasks. Legal counsels may recommend you just not share anything at all, unless you have that signed HIPAA form. I guess that person with the stroke or coma is shit out of luck, and the ER workers will have to take care of him without knowing what meds he's on. Absolute horse bunk. Failure to release germane medical information to other healthcare professionals about the treatment of patients is a serious hindrance, not only to quality patient care, but to continued learning within the medical community. I think the continued learning part is one of the biggest threats to patients that comes from HIPAA, a law whose basis implies that healthcare providers inherently want to disseminate your private information, and they must be regulated in order to stop this from happening is a bunch of horse poop since the beginning. Meanwhile, the real criminals who do not want to steal your healthcare info simply mine it straight off the internet. Protecting the patient's medical privacy is very important, but HIPAA is outdated and needs to be modernized, in my opinion. It goes after the wrong people. In the age of the internet, the HIPAA Act is really just a dinosaur, but I digress. I could go on for 100 toots about HIPAA, but originally my point was that when people say HIPAA when talking about vaccine cards or masks, they make it clear they have no clue what HIPAA is. Hopefully, this short synopsis will clear some things up. I'm a little disappointed at all the fallacies coming from conservatives at the moment. A difference of opinion is one thing, but to repeat a talking point some moron came up with without researching anything, that's what Democrats do. We should be better. I'll continue to check anybody who says this stupid stuff, even if we follow each other. Hopefully it helps. The end.
Woohoo! Yes! Oh my God. Thank you so much, Barbie Bear Angel Paste. That was some kick-ass work there, dude. So, and that also gave me a nice break for my voice, because guess what we have coming now? And first of all, quick comment on that HIPAA stuff. Yeah, HIPAA is just about the medical organization. Just make sure I'm right about this, because I'm sure you know it better than I do. But the HIPAA stuff is just the medical organization, the medical staff, doctors, those people can't disclose your medical information. That's the rule.
Right.
It's like it's a codification of doctor-patient confidentiality, extending it to all members of the medical establishment. But if somebody says, "Hey, were you vaccinated?" It's not a violation of HIPAA.
No.
Yeah,
you just go to another establishment.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I don't think so. I think we should just use artillery barrages on places that require vaccines. But that's pretty much my answer to everything nowadays. Just toss in a few Pinochets and I'm happy. All right, guys. Are we ready? Are you saying bye now, Barbie Bear Angel Paste?
I mean, unless you want me to stay.
All right, well, here's what I'm going to do. I'll take you off right now.
Okay.
I'll take you off, but let's see. I want to just, what if I, all right. I don't know. I don't want to I just want to make it so that I can take you all right. If I remove you, you're still available. You could stay available. If you want to come in, we could do that. And then maybe for another stream, you could show your face.
Dude, I had 1 hour. Becca had the kids over and I was making dinner and I made cake and I got dye all over my hands.
Do you know what happens when I have like 5 minutes to get ready for my stream?
You're
Here's
bald.
my face right here.
Bald.
I'm bald as fuck. All right. So wonderful job, Barbara Bear Angel Paste. Thank you so much for providing me the option of a co-host and potential substitute in the event that I get sick again. Because the news got to get read, guys, whether I'm healthy or sick. All right, Barbie Bear Angel Paste, thank you so much for your wonderful work.
You're welcome.
All right,
Bye.
see you next time. Bye. Guess what, guys? I am energized from that break. So, somebody whose name is Black Olives Matter 76 is now following me on Twitch. And I just want to say that that's a freaking killer screen name. I just want to say that right now. And now I wish I had some olives. All right. So, guess what, guys? You know what it's time for? It's time for Among My People. Hello, patriots. Before the news, healing prayers to Patrick's health and well-being. The news. 1. On May 22nd, our favorite president, Donald J. Trump, released this statement. The lackluster Attorney General of Arizona, Mark Brnovich, has yet to get on the ball and catch up with the great Republican patriots in the Arizona State Senate. As massive crime in the 2020 election is becoming more and more evident and obvious, Brnovich is nowhere to be found. He is always on television promoting himself, but never mentions the crime of the century that took place during the 2020 presidential election, which was rigged and stolen. Arizona was a big part, and Brnovich must put himself in gear, or no Arizona Republican will vote for him in the upcoming elections. They will never forget, and neither will the great patriots of our nation. Arizona, end of statement. Arizona conservatives asked below Trump's statement, feel like reaching out to Attorney General Mark Brnovich, and they included the Attorney General office email and phone number for patriots to use. Email, mark.brnovich@azag.gov, aginfo@azag.gov, consumerinfo@azag.gov, phone 602-542-5025. 2. Arizona Rep. Paul Gosar spoke to America First rally audience in Arizona on Friday, May 21st. He said, quote, people who were coming to me from SEC fraud departments and from military fraud estimate between 400,000 and 700,000 ballots were altered in the state of Arizona. Praying Medic published on May 22nd an opinion about it. Quote, Paul Gosar's comments last night are an important data point for those who are developing theories as to where election audits are headed. They also shed light on why the Arizona audit began in the first place. What follows is my own speculation. If fraud investigators knew days after the election that somewhere around 500,000 ballots were altered in Arizona alone, and if that information was made available to elected leaders shortly thereafter, we can infer that sides would be drawn immediately over the matter. On one side would be elected officials who felt information about fraud could not or should not remain private. Some may have calculated the odds of concealing such massive fraud and thought it could not be done. That being the case, they organized an effort to expose it and get on the right side of the issue. This group is composed mostly of those with no culpability for the fraud, even if some may have benefited from it in the past. Praying Medic continued to speculate. On the other side are elected leaders who felt it was possible or necessary to hide the existence of fraud. This group is composed of those who are responsible for perpetrating it. And he concluded, those who are working to expose fraud have the upper hand. They know for a fact that fraud exists, and they've operationalized a plan that will attain their goal of exposing it. All their opponents can do is deny the facts as they're brought to light. 3. Rachel Maddow continues to explode Q Grandes on air in an effort to delegitimize Anons, Q, and leading figures in the audit fight. In yet another hot Rachel Pocket explosion on air May 22nd, this time mixed with beloved hot Lynn, we are mid-popcorn season. In the video, Maddow, like psycho character with the knife behind the shower curtain, trying to stab Lynn Wood, but all she does is frustrate herself to a whimper. She did not manage to butcher Lynn, but instead endorsed his wild message and red-pilled a few more newbies. For those who missed it, she played to her audience the segment where Lynn says, Donald J. Trump has never conceded, has he? Because he won the election. Donald J. Trump is still the guy the military will call for the code if they need a first strike. Joe Biden is not the president of the United States. My own personal belief is that he signed the Insurrection Act. I think the military is prepared to act if we have a foreign threat or an internal threat that cannot be handled by the police or the National Guard. Lynn ends by saying that the Biden show is allowed to play out to keep the appearance of continuity of government. Was that not red pill number one? We have been hearing it here from our Wild Victor, Dwayne Cates, and others for 6 months now. Then she tries to assassinate his character, handing her audience another red pill, saying, that's a lawyer, Lynn Wood from Georgia. He accused John Roberts, the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, of being a pedophile and a child sex trafficker. Then she shows a clip from Health and Freedom Conference held in Oklahoma a month ago, where Lynn, speaking to an absolutely enthusiastic, patriotic crowd, said, they are trying to attack me because they can't attack Q, because Q is the truth. And Lynn made an air cue and continued, it is about the children. Send this video to Hollywood, to the House of Windsor, send it to Bill Gates, send it to the Vatican, send it to the politicians, the Clintons, the Obamas, the Bidens, the Bushes, send it to those people because they are involved in child sex trafficking. It's time to tell the truth to America. The storm has arrived, 17 said. Panic. Maddow devoted her entire first segment to QAnon. We don't call it that, she does. And Lynn Wood. I've been waiting for the fake news to play the Lynn Wood card, and here it is. They've sat on this Lynn Wood footage from the event in Oklahoma in mid-April, just waiting for the right moment to use it when they are in a deep moment of desperation. Nice try, Rachel. Nothing can stop what is coming. Qta wrote, quote, Rachel Maddow spent 20 minutes on the opening segment of her show attacking Q and Lynn Wood. It's funny watching them gaslight the truth because it ends up making the truth more understandable. I don't know when these people will understand. No one trusts the media anywhere in the world. Can't blame them for panicking. End quote. On her next pathetic rant, Sunday, May 23rd, Maddow red-pilled again while railing a hit piece on MAGA pillars. While I do not wish to bore you with the whole explosion, a few word salad sentences would be in order. She targeted George Papadopoulos, Patrick Byrne, Jovan Pulitzer, and the kinematic invention repeating old tired cliches, but she ended with a diamond. They, meaning leading patriots, are really going to do it, audits, all over the country, taking away from Trump supporters and Republican voters more broadly the basic idea that elections are something that we do publicly as a nation as a means of making political decisions. They are ending that every way they can all over the country simultaneously. This is incredibly stupid and occasionally hilarious, but at the same time way more serious than we are taking this as a country. And she ended by saying, we patriots, are just getting started. Her demeanor said, devastated. Patriots, you are doing it right. 4. The storm has arrived, 17, posted on Telegram, quote, Katie Hobbs just admitted on MSNBC that she has been working with a bipartisan group of secretaries of states, attorneys general, and governors from other states who are, quote, very closely watching what's happening in Arizona to try to make sure it doesn't happen in their states. The storm asked his followers, do you think she's talking with Brian Kemp? Brad Raffensperger, Gretchen Whitmer, Jocelyn Benson. The Storm answered with his opinion, "I guarantee it." Ivan Raiklen posted a standalone statement. Arizona's soon-to-be former Secretary of State, Katie Hobbs. The Storm has arrived 17 posted a clip of an interview of Brian Kemp, Georgia governor, on Fox and Friends from May 22nd, the day the news regarding the Georgia audit broke. The Storm said that, quote, Kemp was not asked a single question about the bombshell ruling on May 21st that the mail-in ballots in Fulton County will be audited. And then the Storm ended, declaring the Fox program enemy of the people. It is, guys. Be real careful of that Dan Bongino. I think he's fucking full of shit too. And I say they matter not. You patriots are the news now. 5. Truthhammer entertains a thought about the future of election results. He starts by asking us, what comes after the 2020 fraud is fully exposed? How do we stop elections from being rigged again? His solution? Mandatory audits for every election. And he goes on to detail his thoughts saying, quote, public companies are required to build the cost of regular audits into their operating costs. It's not hard and would represent a tiny fraction of the money politicians spend on getting elected. Why should the very mechanism of government that empowers the few to rule over the many be exempt from validation? Why would normal corporate business be held to a higher standard than those who make our laws? Which has greater potential to do harm to the public if abused? If you are an honest politician, do you gain power from transparency? If you are a crooked politician, do you lose power from transparency? He concluded by reminding us that it is in our power to determine what happens with audits in the future. The people giveth power, and the people taketh away. Please demand mandatory election audit laws. Sorry, guys. All right. 6. Randy DeSoto published in the Western Journal an article on May 22nd comparing the attitudes of the Senate president and auditors to the attitude of the Board of Supervisors. DeSoto said that the demeanor of the Board of Supervisors is defensive. But what caught my attention was the part in his report that focused on what the supervisors did last Friday. The supervisors are the bad guys in Arizona, for the 5% of you who didn't know that. He wrote, quote, Friday afternoon, the Maricopa County Attorney Alistair Adel sent a threatening letter to Fan, President of the Senate, once again putting audit in quotation marks and calling for all correspondence, documents, text messages, etc., related to the audit from those overseeing or conducting it to be preserved for future litigation. That attorney for the county further warned significant sanctions against parties who fail to preserve evidence could be levied. Unbelievable. Imagine if our side, our attorneys, asked to get any communications between any of them, editors in the media and their masters or their anchors and reporters, any correspondence between social media CEOs with their employees, or any communications between the members of the Arizona Board of Supervisors, or better yet, between Bill Gates, the Maricopa supervisors, and his wife, the judge. A movie. Enzo Productions. Nice. 7. On Saturday, May 22nd, Professor David Clements had an interview with Dr. Frank, who gave great news regarding Mike Lindell's efforts to sue Dominion. Dr. Douglas Frank said that Mike Lindell hired Mission Impossible agents to go to the physical locations where foreign IP addresses were caught hacking into the 2020 election. He continued, quote, and these Mission Impossible agents were able to secretly get into the buildings and take digital forensic images of the computers, including logging the keystrokes of these computers, proving that people were executing these commands to hack in and alter the 2020 election. Earlier in the interview, Dr. Frank commented that Mike Lindell is a true patriot with George Washington-like levels of courage. He is spending all of his money. Everything he owns is being invested in this. I hope it's admissible in court. Admirable in any case. 8. Josh Barnett tweeted on May 24th, the only thing systemic is a systemic cover-up. 9. And a quadruple hopium shot to end this update with. 1. Last night, May 24th, Disclosed TV in a just-in tweet, revealed a historic bill for Floridians. Florida Governor DeSantis has just signed a bill into law that would allow everyday Floridians to sue big tech platforms for monetary damages. Hallelujah. Trump is an everyday citizen now. He lives in Florida right now. 2. Same overstock hopium supplier, Patrick Byrne, said on May 23rd, "This is the week you start seeing progress." 3. A sweet video clip circulated on May 21st with Marjorie Taylor Greene saying to a cheerful crowd, "President Trump is not giving up. He loves this country. He loves the American people. He loves everything we stand for, and you'll see him. He's coming back." 4. And in the video below, 27 seconds, which Patrick will not show you, Steve Bannon says to Boris Epshteyn, quote, "August 15th inauguration, book your Trump hotel, etc." And they both giggle and cheer. "I will just add, take any dates with a grain of salt, but keep looking for clues." That's it for this segment. And thank you, Gunnels, for your hard work. It's extremely appreciated. Part 2 is available. So I'll see what everybody's up to. And then we'll hit part 2, and then we'll call it a night, because my voice is going again. It's so lame. All right. Hey, Lakeside 2002, congratulations on 45 years of marriage. Nice. Well done, Lakeside 2002. All right, guys. All right. Oh, there's so much stuff I have to get to, but I'm going to finish the update, and then I might need to do a supplementary stream, or maybe see if I can get Barbie Bear Angel Pace to take a bigger load of the reading tomorrow. We'll figure it out. All right. Part 2, Among My People. And adding this to the update, President Donald J. Trump issued last night, May 24th, 2021, a statement acknowledging the data we heard about New Hampshire audit discrepancies. Quote, "New Hampshire's election audit has revealed that large-scale voting machines appear to count non-existent votes. State and local communities are seeking confirmation. It's probably true, but we'll soon know." End of statement. Then he jabbed the non-fighter attitude in Congress when the crime of the century is at stake, saying, "Why aren't Minority Leader Mitch McConnell and Republicans doing anything about what went on in the 2020 election? How can the Democrats be allowed to get away with this? It will go down as the crime of the century." And he finished by cementing the idea that a stream of audits is coming. Other states like Arizona, Georgia, where a judge just granted a motion to unseal and inspect ballots from the 2020 election, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and more to follow. 2. John Fredericks, Georgia radio host, updated on the Georgia audit. He said the auditors in Georgia now have 6 affidavits, previously 4, from veteran election officials swearing up to 30,000 ballots are fake. He also said that they are recounting and forensically auditing 147,000 absentee mail-in ballots in Fulton County. That's Atlanta. And also mentioned that the questionable ballots are on different paper, they're not folded, and they have the exact same printed bubble. John Fredericks said that the auditors did an analysis batch of 950 military ballots, and against all statistical odds, they were in sequential order, which is not possible if they went through the mail. And the biggest improbability, Joe Biden got 950 votes out of 950, and Trump got 0. I don't have the ability to do 2 to the 950th power in my head. I can do 2 to the 20th. I'm pretty good. 2 to the 950th. That's not something I can do, guys. I can't even estimate it. It's like a fucking Google. John Fredericks also said that if the judge makes a declaratory judgment in which he declares it's not, what are you talking about? It's about a Google. In which he declares counterfeit ballots were found and some were counted twice. No, it's way more than a Google. It's 2 to the 9th to the 100th. And 2 to the 9th is friggin' 512. So if a Google is 10 to the 100, do you see what I'm getting at? I don't want to bore you with the math. It is a stupidly, it is more 2 to the 950th power. Okay, look, for a coin toss to come up Biden 950 consecutive times has a probability of 1 over 2 to the 950th power. That is 0, okay? It is a true impossibility, right? I have to calm down. That's nuts. If that's true, we have to take everything with a grain of salt at this point. John Fredericks also said that if the judge makes a declaratory judgment in which he declares counterfeit ballots were found and some were counted twice, then they are going to demand Governor Kemp call a special session, and they're going to start decertifying the Trump-Biden election, the Purdue Ossoff election, the 7th District House seat election, and possibly others. I'm not 100% sure of that either. I watched a B. Hizzy video in which he said to be skeptical of judge decertifications. So here's the thing. It's very important. Judges don't have the authority to decertify elections. Only the legislature does. That's my current understanding. B. Hizzy, here we are. B. Hizzy challenged the possibility that a declaratory judgment will bring about decertification. In his opinion, video from yesterday, May 24th, a declaratory judgment will be used as basis for litigation in other places. I am not sure I know what a declaratory judgment is and can do in regards to decertification. I would like to know who is able to decertify if the judge declares counterfeit ballots were counted, or more broadly, who has power to demand Governor Kemp call a special session in order to decertify the election? I don't know. I'm pretty sure that the legislature has plenary authority here. I will close with disclosed TV news from yesterday, May 24th. Ghislaine Maxwell proposes the disclosure of victims and unindicted co-conspirators by May 27th, many weeks before the trial. The image of court paper reads, May 24th, government discloses identities of alleged victims. September 27th, 9 weeks before trial, government discloses, Patrick, you may skip the brackets. Okay. The government's witness list, any co-conspirator statements it intends to introduce at trial, and the identity of any unindicted co-conspirators. Who do you think that we'll have on the co-conspirator list? Any royalty? Any Supreme Court? Others in high places? The only sad thing I had to take away was the hashtag Jordan Sather attached to it. Ghislaine didn't kill herself. Other than the hashtag, this to me was a happy confirmation of something big going on. Gave credence to the idea that there maybe is a plan. It aligns with what Steve Bannon said about the Trump inauguration and audits in August. That's it, Patriots. Have a great night, and thank you, Patrick. Your talent is appreciated. I wanted to end on that, but we can't because there's something important I needed to get to. There's plenty of other stuff. All right. Wow. There's a whole Reading Epic Threads update from May 21st that I skipped over. So I'm going to forward this to Jill. And Jill, if there's any way that you can get this to everybody, this is from May 21st. It's just me being sick and useless. All right. So that's sent off to Jill. Jill, whatever you'd like to do with it, putting it in the social media groups. That's what it is. This is from Charles Bernardin. Oh, damn. It's not reading. Guys, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot this over to Jill. This is important. This is a great interview with George Papadopoulos. Nothing can stop what is coming. Stu Peters interviews George Papadopoulos May 21st. Durham, you may remember him, is coming, and so are the audits. Nothing can stop what is coming. So I'm going to forward this to Jill as well. Jill, if you could possibly post this to the social media groups, that would also be super duper great. Let's see, what else do we have? Damn, I could have sworn there was stuff in here telling me exactly what Papa D said. Anyway, God, there's so much good stuff. But unfortunately, I can already feel my throat giving out on me. So I'm going to have to call it a night tonight. And maybe the better I feel, because I'm on antibiotics. This was day 2 of my Z-Pack and steroids. So tomorrow will be day 3. So theoretically, after day 5, and then the steroid regimen is 6 days long. So we're going to see. All right, hang on. Eileen. pgunnels. No, you're not sick, and unless you can't think like I think, positive, perfect health. Very useful. Yep, very true, but gotta. Mary Doe says that interview was amazing. All right, I need to listen to it too. Ooh, hang on. We put in a call to AOC for you as a get well present. Still waiting on a call back. Oh, I hope she calls back. That would be so awesome. Okay. My AOC. My sweet spicy taco. Okay, let's see here. He said they fooked. The Lord says he can get me out of this, but he's pretty sure you're fucked. All right. L-lysine knocks out cold viruses. Norma Wong, I appreciate your advice. Maybe I should pop a little lysine, but I don't think viruses exist, Norma. All right. Steroid shot would help too. Here's the thing. I'm only doing telemedicine because I don't want to let those friggin' COVID vampires anywhere near me. But you're right, Joe. I'm sure you're right. I've had a shot of methylprednisolone and it was fucking amazing. Oh my God, here we are. Do you have the Rona, the Rona, the Rona? I got something. Make me cough like a little bitch. Oh, I wish you'd been here for some of the other stuff, Mermaid Miss K, but you'll see it later. All right. That's Kristen S. I just bought lysine. Barbara Bear Angel Paste, buying lysine. Oh, one day I will sing Conway's Devil. You say you want a revolution. It's a hard song to sing, especially with this fucked up voice. But yeah, St. Richie, I'm going to sing both of your versions. I like them both a lot. Very, very much. All right. Climbing the side. Let's see. Is there anything else I can? I'm so addicted to this. I have more fun than you guys have here. Not even kidding. But no, it's discretion is the better part of valor. Ooh, hang on. Let's see how long this weekend update is. Oh, you know what, guys? Look, I can do the egg. I can do the egg. Okay, let's just do the quick weekend update from the egg. All right, 1. This is from the egg. 1. PC-12 was up doing circles Friday over Texas. There were also other surveillance aircraft up, electronic sweeps. I will point out that the PC-12 was not over Arizona while the audit was on pause. We'll see if it's back up this week with the audit going forward today. When was this written? I'm just so far behind. All right, this is yesterday. All right, today's Tuesday. This is from Monday. 2, P-8s, sub-hunters. There were several P-8s off the coast of Florida again. It was quiet for a while with these, but they seem to be back up. Looking for something, not sure. 3, Guantanamo Bay. Mostly normal with one exception. There was an agency aircraft that came out of Fort Lauderdale and went into Gitmo and then went back to Fort Lauderdale. The interesting thing is that this plane was also in Opelika, Miami, just prior to this flight. It fits the mold per Monkey as a suspicious flight to keep an eye on. And here is one reason why. Last week, I saw a story that circulated regarding Operation Carolina Homecoming, which was a joint effort between local law enforcement and federal agencies in the Charlotte, North Carolina area. There was a total of approximately 150 kids that were recovered before and during this operation. These include another 27 kids that were still missing and harder to locate, but have since been located. These kids were involved in drugs, prostitution, and victims of human trafficking. The police have said they are currently looking into the human trafficking leads to make arrests. Now, Monkey started talking about this story, and that's all it took for me to put 2 and 2 together. Because if you remember last week, I wrote about the Google balloons, which are capable of surveillance. Of course, they have told us these just bring internet to those in remote areas, but there were a lot of these balloons up, and they were not in unpopulated areas. Monkey seems to think they may have been used to help with this operation because when there is an announcement, such as the article mentioned above, it's often followed with a random agency flight to Guantanamo Bay. Such was the case with Epstein didn't kill himself, and Maxwell. There were flights to Gitmo following their arrests. Also, there was a Phoenix Air flight into North Carolina on Wednesday. These are often used for transport by agencies. After this flight, it went into Puerto Rico. There is a prison on that island, and Monkey says it's used for housing inmates awaiting trial. So here we have agency aircraft in North Carolina, along with the Google balloons, the story about the recovered kids, and a flight to Gitmo and Puerto Rico. That pretty much sums it up. Are they connected? Not sure, but it's possible. 4, Green Jello report. Biden went to Camp David on Saturday. Sadly, he was given a toy model rocket to put together. His wife caught him sniffing the glue and eating the booster rockets. Inside sources say he's been moved to the jigsaw puzzle table instead for his safety. Circle time was at 10:30 Sunday. After the sing-along, someone read him a book called The Gay BCs. Yes, it is a real book. Also, the COVID hate bill is really a thing, I swear. I wish I had made that one up, lol. Oh my God, I thought that was made up. Since the glue incident, Biden had to go without his green jello, but he was still on track to get it for Monday depending on how many paint chips he eats. As for Monday, Biden was updated on the Atlantic hurricane outlook per the schedule. He wanted to have the storms named after his favorite crayon flavors, but the Hurricane Center will be sticking with their previously chosen names, which included Deshaun and Tayshaun, respectively, from the secondary list. Sometimes my material writes itself, but the important thing here is that our hurricane names are diverse. I do suspect in the future they will attempt to use all gender-neutral names. 17, MAGA forever, Susan, the cracked egglet. And with that, I'm going to ask all of you to please go to angelpaste.com, promo code Shapiro, food grade plant oils, all for your skin, no poison, made by patriots for patriots. CooperandFrench.com, promo code Shapiro. If you shave, shave with this, made by patriots for patriots. It's made in his basement, guys. He watches the stream. He's one of us. CooperandFrench.com, promo code Shapiro. I shave with this every time I shave, which is kind of every other day. Although when I was sick, I hardly shaved at all. All right, guys, I'm going to be doing some trips. I'm going to be going to rallies. If you want to support those efforts, paypal.me/Bitcoin Armada. My trip to the Dallas event is paid for, but we got rallies coming up, guys. And I am officially able to live stream from my phone. I'm going to get a mounted thing when I'm on my drives. I may not be able to answer chats while I'm driving, but I can run my mouth for 30 minutes. I can run my mouth indefinitely. It's really kind of pathetic when you think about it. It's amazing that I don't have laryngitis all the time. But nevertheless, paypal.me/Bitcoin Armada if you'd like to fund this channel and share the stream. Tell people that I'm not crazy, that we are a small community because we see through the bullshit. We really do. So I will thank every single one of you for being here. Once again, deeply grateful to have you here. We are a small community. We are a great community. We're only getting better every single day. And as Trump says, the best is yet to come. So thank you so much for seeing me, helping me see this through this through this illness. So God willing, I will be so much better tomorrow, but I'm really digging the whole Barbara co-host thing, guys. I'm really stoked about that in a big, big way. I was listening to her while I was drinking my apple juice and, taking my break. She sounded so freaking awesome. All right, guys, you guys rule. I love you all. And I will see you. Wait, Barbara's here. Hang on. Let's say hi. Say bye to Barbara.
Don't look at me.
There we go. That's what you get.
No.
Bye, Barbara.
I will be the greatest president that God ever created.